Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. So now, a follow-up to the last video on Muhammad Ali. Let's discriminate between the greatest and the best ever. When we talk about the greatest, boxing-wise or otherwise, athletically-wise, we're speaking about someone who stands out in the pantheon of athletes. Someone who stands out. Like saying Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player. He stands out because of so many different elements that Michael Jordan did in the sport of basketball. Similarly, Muhammad Ali stands out in the pantheon of boxers. There's no boxer as great as Muhammad Ali. But Muhammad Ali had flaws. And in his boxing, that is. And some of his flaws were he was susceptible to the leaping left hook. Frazier exposed that, but even before that, there was another boxer named Jones who exposed it. Even though Ali won that fight by unanimous decision, his prediction that he would knock out this guy in a certain amount of rounds did not happen, and in fact it was a very competitive fight to the very end. As we all know, Frazier set the blueprint for how to beat Ali when he defeated him the first time they met after Ali came out of retirement. Ali went on to fight two very close fights against Frazier, in which one, the last one, Thriller in Manila, turned out to be a fight which was to the death almost. Now, that's in terms of boxing. Now, the casual fan will mix up the greatest with the best ever. For those people who know boxing, people in the boxing arena, trainers, boxers, etc., they recognize Sugar Ray Robinson as the best ever. In fact, the great Sugar Ray Leonard, who names himself after the great Sugar Ray Robinson, has the great Sugar Ray Robinson on his shirt. He doesn't have Muhammad Ali, even though Muhammad Ali was one of his mentors. He has the great Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson was not the most socially conscious guy. He was not the most exciting guy outside of the ring. Sugar Ray Robinson was great because of what he did inside of the ring. Alright? Now let's look at the great Sugar Ray Robinson, shall we? Sugar Ray Robinson was as complete a boxer as you'll ever come across. Sugar Ray Robinson had 200 fights, and he could fight on the inside. He could fight on the outside. He could fight mid-range. He could bang. He could brawl. He was technically sound. So sound was Sugar Ray Robinson that there were no faults in his game for his opponent to beat him. The greatest hope by his opponents was that Sugar Ray Robinson would come in on a bad day, have a bad day, and somehow they'd find a way to beat him. Now you say, well, you can't just talk about a boxer based on his skills. Yes, you must. You must always talk about a boxer and a great boxer and the best boxer based on his skills. And Muhammad Ali had skills, but he had flaws. I already explained what they were. Now, how do we know a boxer is very skilled? By his level of opposition. We already said Muhammad Ali, he fought at least 10 great boxers of his era. Sugar Ray Robinson fought more than 10 great boxers of his era. But again, you have to know boxing. Trainers, boxers who've watched tape on Sugar Ray Robinson know this. So I will challenge you to do, go to the box rack, pull up Sugar Ray Robinson, 200 fights, remember. Pull up Ali, and look at all the great fighters that Ali fought. I'm just going to mention some. Larry Holmes, Leon Spinks, Ernie Schaefer's, Ken Norton, Joe Frazier, just to name a few, okay? Sonny Liston, Sugar Ray Robinson. Just scroll through. Jake LaMotta, all right. Kid Gallivan, Henry Armstrong. You know Henry Armstrong? Okay, I think you guys know him. Rocky Graciano, Rocky Castellano, and so many others. Okay? My point being this, that when we talk about the best boxer ever, we're not talking about all the other things that go along with boxing, the entertainment value and all these things. We're just talking about the boxing. If you were to look at tape on Ali, you were to look at tape on Sugar Ray Robinson, who is the better boxer? Okay? Level of opposition, Sugar Ray Robinson had 12 to 13 to 15 greats that he fought. Ali fought 10 greats. Okay? And that's good. Ali's career was short, so was Robinson. I think Ali's career was 21 years. Robinson's career was like, I don't know. Robinson was from 1940 to 1965, about 25, 26 years. So in the end, these guys had around about the same careers, but less fights from Ali. Robinson had a ridiculous amount of fights, and he rematched guys like tons a dozen. And usually 3 out of 5 times on average, he beat you. Okay? So what I'm saying is that there is no comparison between the resume of Robinson and Ali. There is no comparison in terms of the skill set of Robinson and Ali. And this is why Robinson is considered to this day the best ever, whereas Ali is considered the greatest, and rightfully so. He's known throughout the world. But people in boxing circles know Robinson. Casual fans and everybody else knows Ali. You understand? Now, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is trying to become the best ever, based on, again, his resume, of course, his accomplishments, and also his skill. Will he ever accomplish that? It's possible. His record is quite interesting, and the level of opposition is also very interesting. But of course, when you talk about Sugar Ray Robinson, you're talking about a very, 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 very high standard in boxing. The man, they found it pound for pound after the guy. That's to tell you how big he was. Again, the greatest is different to the best ever. You guys have a great day.